Hello everybody, welcome back to another Bitcoin update here right now, a very critical level. I also want to cover altcoins since a lot of people have asked me about altcoins, and I'll show you one of my favorite altcoins right now, which I'm long currently, so stick ahead to the video. So here on the daily time frame, as I've been talking, if we go away on the log scale, I've been saying we're going to reach this median line here for Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at 65,000. I do believe I would actually personally like also if we get a final push to around 63.6 thousand. We can see here on the 4-hour time frame, we got a short here for those who are in the VIP group. So we took here from the highs, you that follow my channel, you already know, from the highs to the lows. And we can see here, it was a perfect short from the 0.31 area if you go here on the log scale. So I got a short here. I actually closed mine a bit earlier, but this was a perfect hedge here. If you're still short, you can keep it all the way down to the median line if you're on long altcoins. So it's always smart to hedge your bets. As I've been saying, I do think right now that altcoins have been deleveraged, which means even though Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins will be stronger. In the past, it was the opposite. The past few weeks, when we say Bitcoin goes down 2%, altcoins drop like 10%. But I do think right now it's more even. And also if we check here on the BTCD, this is the Bitcoin dominance. So we can see here, as I mentioned yesterday, that we're now at heavy resistance here at this major pitchfork. We come here on the weekly. And I do believe this is a very critical area because this could start a massive downtrend for Bitcoin. If this downtrend starts, this is going to be massively bullish for altcoins. Even if this trend only looks like this, if you get to like 50% from 55% Bitcoin dominance, this is going to be very good for altcoins. We're going to see altcoins completely take off like crazy. But we have to be careful because this median line already been tested twice, but it's a big pitchfork. So you can see tested once here, tested a second time here. So I do think this is going to hold. Last time this median line was tested, then we got a slight altcoin rally. That's when altcoins flew, and I do believe that's now the similar thing is going to happen. Quickly, I want to cover here the total altcoin market cap. Nothing really has changed here. We have the pitchfork from the lows here to the highs to the recent lows here. I do believe this median line is a target. Of course, I don't want to get too optimistic yet. That's why I like to take step by step. So my next target is 1 trillion, but I do believe if we can climb up to 1 trillion, then this median line is going to get reached as well, which are around 1.3 trillion. And for us to go there, we can't imagine altcoins are going to fly like crazy. Of course, the good ones, because as I've been talking, there's too many altcoins in the market, so you have to be careful what altcoins you are trading. But overall, I love this pattern I'm seeing right now. We have 4 red weeks here in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do expect next week we're gonna have a green candle close on the weekly, which is gonna be massively bullish. We can see here on the daily, as we covered, we actually caught the low perfectly here on altcoins. I do believe the altcoins can still fluctuate, as I've drawn here my arrow, before then they start taking off. So right now, probably we might even get a bit down if Bitcoin drops down to our target. The altcoins might go a bit down here, but I do believe this low is going to hold. And which is good with this, my analysis right now is that the invalidation is very close. So I also want to be honest with you guys. Nobody can see the future. I'm just showing you my analysis, which I do think is one of the most accurate analysis out there. Of course, everybody can chart in their own way, but this I'm just sharing my analysis. In my opinion, the 0.31 is great at predicting fourth waves. I've done a lot of back testing myself. I've been trading for over 7 years now. And that's why you can see here on my chart, the only 2 fibs I'm using is the 0.31 and the minus 0.236. So in my opinion, these are the only 2 Fibonacci's that can actually give you alpha long-term trading. I know there are other, the golden zone and the 0.5 and stuff like that, but personally, they can offer support. They can be good to look at, but just trading based off them is not gonna give you any returns long-term, in my personal opinion, from backtesting. So overall, as I've been saying, we're sitting at support here on the 4 wave. Right now, I'm just waiting for the 5th wave. So your potential upside, let's say you buy here on average, you buy an altcoin. So your potential upside is 65%. We're now talking on the total altcoin market cap. And let's say your risk is like max 8%. So the risk to reward here to buy altcoins is very good. And right now, you that been following me, I will show you my favorite altcoin, which is Near Protocol, which is having the exact same pattern as the total altcoin market cap. So you have so 1, 2, 3, 4. Before I said the 4th wave is here, we're gonna go sideways before higher. But as I've been saying, 4th waves like to go sideways to chop out a lot of long leverage longs, and that's exactly what Near has done here. We came up here and then we had a crash down here. We bounced from the 0.31 here again. So I do expect this to hold it. Let's see if we can I think that this doesn't right now don't have the volume up here, but let's see here if we can add volume. So if we add the volume here, we actually got quite decent volume here. Of course, it's nothing crazy like we had back here when we got at the bottom, but still the volume here is much more volume than we had in weeks now. So I do believe this confirms a very good bottom for NEAR. I'm actually long NEAR right now. So I do hope that the bottom is in for NEAR protocol and we can go to $15. My next macro target for NEAR protocol is $15, which means it's another 200%. And then we also have this major pitchfork, which I take from the lows here to the highs and then to the recent lows. And I like to use the original. So I have been having this median line as well. I do believe this is a realistic target for NEAR to go to 35. This means we're going to break the all-time highs, but of course we're not going to go there overnight. So if we zoom in here on the 4 hour, for those who are on my Discord, link down below, I shared this demand zone we had here on the 2 hour. So we got a nice pullback here. I wanted to add here to my NEAR position, but we go slightly front run. You can see here, this is because there's so much demand in the market, this happens. For me to draw these demand zones, I like to use the body of the red candle. So you can see, first off, I want to identify a red candle followed by impulsive green candles, which we can see here out of impulsive green candles. And the way I draw it, I use the body, the high of the red candle, and then I like to use the wick, the lowest wick. So you could either use this wick here or this wick here. And the way I use them is, if price breaks through the demand zone, then it's invalidated. You probably can still see a bounce because of the supply is being absorbed, but usually how I use them, if I place trade based off them, I use them just basically as I have drawn them. So the stop loss just right under, and then whatever my target is. So overall, I do expect NEAR to go higher, maybe some sideways. We might even get a small pullback here because I do expect Bitcoin to go lower, and I actually hope for that to happen. We might even come down here again, but overall, I am very, very bullish. We're also starting to form, not yet, but it looks like we're starting to form some kind of head and shoulders here, which is going to be relatively bullish for NEAR. So we're gonna go higher. So the next target right now here short term is gonna be around 6.5, which is the 0.5 line of this massive pitchfork, and then the median line up here. So there's still a lot of opportunity to go long here altcoins. If you're still worried and you don't think the bottom is in for altcoins, then I do suggest to wait for Bitcoin to come down here to the median line, as I've been saying, 63.1. If we go in the log scale is 63.6 thousand. So you could wait for another new low on Bitcoin, and once we bounce, then you can enter altcoins just to be safe. Also, Ethereum looking super strong here, super good, as I've been talking. Perfect bounce here from the median line. Right now we're just going sideways here, but I do expect similar like on NEAR protocol for Ethereum to continue to climb higher towards 5,000. So we have to remember something I mentioned in the past. These bull markets have now become much longer than the previous bull market. So the crypto is behaving a bit more like the stock market. So if you that are familiar with the stock market, it does go higher but slower, which is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you trade on leverage. There might be easier market to trade, but if you're holding spot to get big returns, it's going to take a longer time. And also right now, because there's so many altcoins in the market, even to get a 200% return on altcoin is a good return. While in the previous years, the previous bull market, to have a 10x on altcoin was a good return. Right now, to get a 10x is just crazy, in my opinion. Of course, it can happen, especially the lower market cap altcoins, but the bigger ones, it's going to be very difficult. So for Ethereum, I would just be careful because we have an empty volume gap here on the left. I'm not saying I'm either bearish or bullish, but if Ethereum would start coming down here, I would use this demand zone here as well. So you can draw it like this, or I would personally draw it like this just to be safe. So if Ethereum, I'm not saying it is going to happen, but we have to be ready for all sorts of scenarios. This would be a very good place to enter Ethereum, but we could also go straight up here. And as I've been talking, then we have the resistance up here, which we already tested twice actually. So I do think the third time we're going to test this is going to be weaker, probably a small pullback before then we break it. So that's going to be very interesting to see on Ethereum. Ethereum is also going to correlate with the altcoins, of course. So overall, I do think right now is the time to start buying altcoins, because as I've been having this outlook for altcoins, technically nothing has changed. Yes, we got a pullback here this week, but we're still inside the range here. We're still inside the massive fourth wave, as I've been speaking about. Nothing else has changed, and we still have the target up here at 1 trillion market cap. So that's my outlook for right now. Please let me know what other coins you would like me to chart. please leave a like on the video, really appreciate it. Make sure to join my Discord, I'm there active. I also have free version, you can write to me there in the public chat. And if you like the videos, please subscribe and see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for